Hello, everybody. Shel and Peg here with Art Joyous Sharing. It's Thursday morning. Can you believe it? Another Thursday morning already, and we are sheltering in place. And for those that are coming in later, this is a live show that we broadcast each Thursday, 10:30 Central Standard Time. And good morning, people, and good morning, Shel.
Hello, hello. I don't actually see any people.
Well, it'll be coming up here.
Hello
It'll be coming up. I'm pretty sure.
to people who might arrive soon.
There,
Rennie's
it's
here.
there.
Hi, Rennie.
It's there. So we have Gina in the house. We got Rennie there. Hi. Hi.
And Gina, hello. People are rolling in.
Yeah. Marie, good morning. Hi. I'm so glad to see everybody. I hope everybody is well. I hope your families are well. Shel and I have been doing a little, what do they call that? Not shelter in place, shopping in place.
Yes. Shopping in place.
And to that end, we're going to share some of our shopping that we've been doing. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Sybil. Hi, Andrea. Hello, hello, people. So glad to see everybody.
Did you put your art guard on, Peg? Get your art guard.
I'm going to do that right now because I just
Do
washed
that.
I just washed off what I had on. So it's time.
Welcome, Lisa and Andrea and Sybil. Yep, people are rolling in. We've got them trained.
Angelic training for me. All right. Yeah.
So Peg and I have both purchased some stuff lately because, what are you going to do? You're sitting at home, you're on the computer, you're watching people's videos and live streams, and you're like, oh, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. And in my case, I've been very unmotivated, and I thought maybe if I spent some money and got some new products that I would get motivated. Didn't really work yet, but maybe it will. So today I'm going to be playing with some new acrylic inks that I got. These are the Pem Character line Matisse acrylic inks, and talking about that, and maybe some of my new stencils from Stencil Girl, because I'm always getting new stencils. And I'm just going to play with the properties of those. Plus, in addition, I have these Liquitex inks, which are also acrylic inks from a couple years ago. So I'm going to try different things and see what they do. What are you going to do, Peg?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got a bunch of stuff out here. I started out playing early this morning. Some of these things are still drying. Because so many of these things we get and we never really get an opportunity to play with. Like I've had this cell creator for a very long time. I have not used it, but the new product that's out on the market, which is Dina Wakley also, which is, where have I got it? Is this gloss spray. I tend to think this is probably one of the components in there.
I bet you're right.
So I'm going to take some of this cell creator and I'm going to play Mad Chemist this morning, and I'm going to make a concoction because I do that all the time. And I'm going to see if I can make some of my own spray out of some of the cell creator. That's one thing I got on my mind. Okay. I have a number of these different products from Finnabair that I haven't really used, and I wanted to see what they were like along with some of these sprays. This is that white sand, and it has kind of a translucent or iridescent, almost, how sand shimmers. It's got that going on, but I've got some of that drying. And along with that, speaking of stencils, I have some new stencils, and no, they're not Stencil Girl stencils. They are What If stencils. If you don't know, my friend Carla, she has an Etsy store, and she produces stencils. And she sent me some, and I started playing on this page this morning. This is a cute little angelfish. Playing with this angelfish this morning because, I'll can do some more with that. But let me show you some of these cool stencils that she did. She will produce for you. I'm telling you. I said, Carla, I want some windows and doors and that sort of thing. And let me show you what she did. She came right along with me on my adventure. And I said, okay, windows and doors, look at that. And then I said, well, I need some big and I need some small. So yeah, we got some big and small. And I said, well, I need arches. Oh yeah, got some arches. There's arches in the windows, arches in the doorways, arches in just about everything here. So, I mean, these are really cool stencils that Carla has produced just, from a conversation that we had about windows and doors and arches. She had a conversation with my friend Laura. I don't know if Laura's here this morning. Is Laura in the house? I don't know. She had a conversation with Laura, and Laura wanted some stencils that were Asian characters. So yeah, she did these for Laura. This is a beginner's Zen mind stencil. And then this one, I think she was working with her grandkids, and it says, listen. Who are those? Right? So, I mean, if you got an idea, talk to Carla at What If NC. And I think her link's down below. If not, we'll be sure and get it in there for you. But hey, Barbara Clark, hi. So, I mean, look at all of these fantastic designs, guys. I mean, I'm going to work with the fish, of course, but I mean, she's got all of these floral things for your doodling. And oh, another one I was playing with this morning. Yeah. Another one conversation I had with her was, I need a ruler. I need rulers and things. And so where's that piece of paper I was working on? I pulled out a piece of paper this morning from last week. And you see, here's that ruler stencil on there. How cool is that, right? So she will listen to you and she will help you get what you want with your stencils. But all of her new stencils, I'm pretty sure, are in her Etsy store. That's What If NC. And for those of you that are part of the chronic pain group, if you're art journaling about your pain or your journey with pain or, your conquering of pain, she has these word ones, which are sad, angry, confused, empty, all of that. But there's lots and lots of these in different sizes. Ouch, ache, numb, sad. In lots of different words. And then the ones that are more encouragement, it's like, be patient, be kind, take your time, stop beating yourself up. I mean, these are just, these can go on cards and things that you're sending out to your friends too, especially at this time where we didn't ask for this. We definitely didn't ask for this. I am not alone. Okay. You may feel it when you're cloistered in your own home, but so these are great stencils. If you're doing a little shopping at home, check out What If NC on Etsy. Oh, this was another one. This was another one I asked her for. I said, I need bricks and mortar and sidewalk, whatever. And she did that for me. Is that cool or what? All right, so let's go back to some of these other products.
All right. Huh, look at that.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
It does come off with alcohol.
Cool.
I should rub it.
Tell us what your process was.
Okay, so I started playing with these new inks that I have. I tried the turquoise. See, I haven't even opened these yet. The royal purple and the nightfall, which is like a dark, dark blue. This is nightfall, turquoise, and royal purple. And I have two different pieces of mixed media paper. One of them is got a sloppy coat of gesso on it, and one of it doesn't. Because I wanted to see what it would be like to make a watercolor wash with acrylic ink, because the thing about acrylic ink is that it's permanent. So once it's dry, it's light fast, it's archival, and it's permanent. So for mixed media artists, that's really great because you can make all these watercolor effects that you would do with watercolor paint, only you can make them with something that's permanent and then put layers over the top. So I was reading an article because I was trying to find out what is the difference between India ink, acrylic ink, and fluid acrylic paint, because they all seem like fluid things that are permanent, right? And so there are differences. The acrylic ink is suspended in a resin or an acrylic emulsion. It is thin enough and non-clogging, so you could use it in a dip pen, which I will do in a little bit if I can find my dip pen, and in an airbrush, something like that. Also, with the exception of some colors that are always opaque, like titanium white, it's fairly translucent. Whereas the fluid paints, like the Golden High Flow and the Deco Art Media fluid paints, which are some of my favorites, they're more opaque, with the exception of colors that are always translucent, like yellow. So, and you can't put them in things. You can put them in like a pointy bottle like this. You can put them in something like this and it won't clog, but it would clog in an airbrush without the addition of airbrush medium, which maybe Liquitex acrylic ink is high flow with airbrush medium added, probably. But anyway, it comes like that. You can mix it with any of the mediums. Any of these, you can like tint your mediums like gessos and, you know, texture mediums and stuff like that with it. It mixes with any other acrylic product, so you can put them all together. Then India ink is heavy pigment suspended in water with sometimes the addition of gelatin. So it doesn't have any acrylic emulsion in it, but it's still light, fast, and permanent in a lot of cases. Not every single case will India ink be permanent, but almost always it is. And it comes inside of bottles like this. I have whole different ones of Dr. P.H. Martin's India inks, which I like to use, you can also do all these watercolor effects with them with the addition of water. Also, India ink comes inside of pens like Faber-Castell Pitt pens have India ink in them. So it's just really, you got some pigments, and what do you suspend the pigment in is what the differences are between all of these products. So I wanted to try the Pam Carricker ones. I think she has really beautiful colors. She has very intense colors. So what I did was I sprayed some water, I spread and did a wash, and then I had read an article that said that finally getting to the point that acrylic inks are sometimes removable with alcohol, which I didn't know. So this is 91% alcohol in a spray bottle. This used to be a hand sanitizer bottle, so it still smells good. And I sprayed some of the alcohol. I just spritzed it right through the stencil and lifted it up with some paper, and it did come off. So let's find out if we put the stencil on again, and then that's on the gessoed surface. So if we put the stencil on again and we spritz it a little bit more and we rub it with something, let's find out what happens then. Or maybe I'll put alcohol on a paper towel and try rubbing it to see what happens. And then we'll try it on the one that's not gesso, because of course the gesso background is going to help things lift easier because it's sealed up the paper, and so there isn't that staining effect of the pigments going into the paper pulp. So it may not work on one that's not treated, but we'll find out in a second. That's interesting. It definitely does lift. So that's got some interesting applications, because just imagine if that was your art journal page and you had this interesting background that almost looks like plants or something on it. I could see some real application for that. It also lifted off some of the black that was on my stencil, so just ignore that. There was apparently some black acrylic paint that came off my stencil, which is probably going to happen again. Let's find out what happens. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. It's not going to lift off the untreated paper very much. A little bit, a tiny, tiny bit maybe. But definitely on the gessoed. And this is mixed media paper. So back to you, Peg.
Okay, well, I'm gonna I'm going to put some, my concoctions in these bottles. You can get these izink pigment spray bottles if you don't have, but you can buy these type on Amazon really cheaply. And the izink stuff is like in these bottles that are like, what do you call them? Fingernail polish. This is a new product from Seth Apter, and it's made in France. I don't even have these open yet, so you can tell how new they are to me. Hey, Vicky. Hi, Tape Queen. So, I'm going to pull that plastic off of there and show you what this is like. It's a pigment in a bottle, okay? It's just another pigment in a bottle. And it's got a brush applicator here. So, I mean, if you wanted to brush this onto something, like if I want to add some of that with the brush, I certainly can just brush it on. But what I want to do is I want to add some of this to, what did I do with that? Okay, in this spray bottle, I added some alcohol. This is just 91 proof rubbing alcohol. I want to add some to that and see about spraying it. So I'm going to put a little bit of that into the alcohol. I'm sure you can add it to water too. I'm just playing with different products. So I'm going to put several drops of that blue izink in my bottle. Put the lid back on before I spill it. And that was called Celestial Blue. They're in French, so always get.
The company's name is Aladdin, which
Yes.
always reminds me of a friend of mine that was named Aileen. She was not French, but I always thought her name sounded French. And then you hear Aladdin is like so similar to that. Pretty sure her name was French, whether she admitted it or not.
So this one kind of separates out in the alcohol. I'm going to put some in another bottle with water. I'm going to use this green.
Ooh.
It's a nice green. It's called Olive Drab. And it is
an ugly
really
sounding name.
Really nice olive drab.
Olive drab.
And get some water in here. Because we want to be able to spray this. Let's see what we get. See what we get. It's time to experiment with things. We got all this stuff out here. So this is the olive drab with water. And you know me, fly by the seat of my pants. I'm going to show it to you, the real deal here. I've never done this before, never seen it done by anybody else. I'm just giving it a try. So I'm going to mix that up. And that mixes very well with water. Okay. We're going to add some of the cell creator in a little bit.
I'm curious about that. I didn't even hear of that product before.
The cell creator, they use it in pouring medium. I've got some pouring medium. I should mix another bottle with some pouring medium. Let's do that. I've got another bottle here with some pouring medium. So I've got more colors. I'm going to put some pouring medium in this one. And let's pick another color so we can keep them, we can kind of know what we've done here. Let me get, this one is roast chestnut.
Sounds like brown.
Well, yeah, roast chestnut would be brown, but I like brown.
I know you do. No, I don't like brown.
Thanks, Rennie. She says, that's what we love about you, Pig.
Yeah, exactly. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just, what the heck? It's an experiment. It's a piece of paper, right?
Man, this stuff is cool.
I can't get the lid of this one off.
Look at that.
Where's
so
my
fun.
I have my jaws of life here. If you guys don't have one of these, you might want to consider getting one because it helps you open things like this that you just can't get any other way.
Yeah, I had to use a wrench earlier to open a couple of my Liquitex ones. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn on
this lid. Okay, it's really small.
Okay, so this is still mixed media paper, and I just applied the acrylic with the enclosed dropper, and this is the poppy and the magenta, and I just mark making. This one's got gesso on it. This one doesn't. I added a little bit of water beforehand and also after with a brush to kind of blend. You can blend it out with a brush with water. And I think that is pretty fun. I think I could make lots of collage parts doing this. So you can definitely apply it with a brush. You can bleed it with a brush, which I'm going to do some more ink fade type bleeding in a second. I just wanted to see what would happen with the little things inside. So this is definitely wicking a lot. But I don't really think the effect is different whether you've gessoed it or not gessoed it in this case. It was definitely different in this case, but it was not so much in this case. So that's still mixed media paper. I'm going to switch to some other paper here in a second because I think I just ran out of my pile.
Hey, Dana. Hi.
Aren't those pretty though?
So I put a little bit of that pouring medium in, a little bit of the izink pigment, and now I'm going to add a little bit of this cell creator.
So that's going to be something like that spray that you get at the Home Depot to make cells when you're doing a pouring situation.
Something like that, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so where's my lid? I need my screw-on lid, and I don't know what we're going to get with this, guys. I'm gonna start with just a plain tag, and we'll see what we get here. Mix that up good. But maybe it's our own homemade colors for what Dina's doing with her sprays. Who knows?
Thank you, Tana. She's making me laugh.
Yep, there we go. Oh, that squirter is not squirting very good. I might have to add some water. It's pretty thick. Okay, I would recommend adding some water.
Yeah, sometimes you add water, sometimes you don't.
Well, because that pouring stuff is pretty thick.
I have a bucket of that pouring stuff and I haven't even used it.
Well, we might be coming up with a use for it right here, right now.
We may, or maybe we should do an episode on pouring.
Well, maybe.
Everyone else does it. Don't know why we don't.
Because it's, you're pouring paint.
Yeah, well, we could get a big tray and put it on the desk, and it could be done. It could be.
Okay, so I'm diluting that a little bit. Let's see if I get there we go. Now I'm getting a spray because I diluted it with some water.
I think this one's already.
And look at there. It is bubbling just like Dina's stuff does. So
it definitely has an effect, whatever stuff is in that.
So
I didn't even know that she had that.
Well, you got some of this gloss spray, didn't you?
Oh, the gloss spray. I was thinking that's from the cell maker.
Well, the cell maker stuff is what I added to this, but I'm, when they came out with the gloss spray, I'm saying, okay, so what's in that gloss spray? Because that's the first thing I think about. Because there's only so many colors that you're going to get from a designer. So I
Right.
can make my own stuff using the colors that I like by blending things out. Okay, so we're going to let that one dry. This one is one where I had just taken some cheddar and some gloss spray in lemon. So, I mean, I can come back with some of her other stuff on top of this. I could spray some lemon on here and see what happens and see if it's going to create more cells. And yes, it does. I'm just saying, yes, it does. So that's pretty cool, right?
So fun. I'm having so much fun. Why didn't I do this yesterday when I was feeling like crap? Someone needs to drag me out of my situation and just tell me to do something.
So
this is so fun.
Here's that green spray that we created with izink. Let's put some of that on this one. See if I can get it to pump out here. That's the hardest part for me on some of these, is getting the thing to pump out. And that's really thick. Probably need to dilute that down a little bit more. But that's the thing, you know, if something isn't working the way you want it to, keep working at it. So I got a little bit of that izink, which I think needs more water. This is the one that we put the alcohol into. Let's see what it does. See if I can get the spray started. I have more trouble getting spray started. Okay, the alcohol one is kind of a bust. I'm just saying. The alcohol makes the stuff set up. So don't use alcohol, use water. Learn from me.
Chemical reactions.
Use the water. But we could just take this and sprinkle it on. Because you see what's happened is it's kind of clogged up everything with the alcohol in it. But I could. Where's my dropper? Get my dropper out here. I could take a dropper and suck some of that up. Now, see, it just clogs immediately. It won't even work in a... Yeah, so alcohol is not the answer. Clean your bottle out. Use it for something else. So now we know. Water with these products.
I thought I had a tiny pipette.
But I like what's going on with this one. Let me see. Pull it up and show you guys. I'm going to let it run down the page a little bit here. You guys see that? Trying to get a close-up. I'll put some close-up pictures in the group. But yeah, it's getting a very mottled effect. I'm gonna actually spritz that with some water, if I can find my bottle of water here, and see if I can get it moving even some more.
Oh, there it is. Dang, I couldn't find it. I knew I had a tiny pipette somewhere. I have a bigger one somewhere too. But it was in the alcohol ink. And speaking of the other kind of ink that we didn't talk about, alcohol ink is pigment suspended in alcohol. So it's all about what they suspended in.
Yep.
Okay, here's my other pipette, I think. I also have a dirty one somewhere. But I don't know where it is. So I was thinking if you could mess around with the dropper inside, that you could also make finer lines by using a pipette.
Shel, did you look at the chat? They're asking about what you're doing.
Oh, Cindy, this is acrylic ink. You're just talking about acrylic inks. That's what I'm playing with today. I got some new ones, Pam Carricker colors from Matisse, and then I had some old ones that I haven't played with in years from Liquitex. And so we were talking about the differences between acrylic ink, India ink, media, acrylic paint, like fluids, like golden, high flow, and media, and the different properties and what they can do. So I started out playing with mixed media paper with some gessoed and some not gessoed. And I just dumped all of my wet ones that I had suspended so nicely on the edge of my trash can right into the trash can. But I was playing first with watercolor washes and seeing how they worked on the different types of media paper, whether it was gessoed or not. And then I was playing with just making marks and using water and the thing inside of there. There's a dropper inside each one of these. So then my next step was like, oh, well, I have these littler situations with pipettes that maybe I could play with mark making with that. And that's just the beginning. I'm going to keep going and doing all kinds of experiments. Oh, and also I lifted some of it through a stencil with alcohol. Particularly worked on the gessoed paper. So this one is completely saturated, but that's my favorite one so far. Look at that. I can just tear that up and make it into collage paper. I think we just lost Peg. She must have lost internet connection. So she'll be back, I'm sure. Probably her husband decided he wanted to watch something. He wanted to stream something upstairs and she lost her connection, because that does happen. So that's mixed media paper. Let's find out what it does when you put it on a different paper. I just need someplace to lay all these. I don't have any place to put them. I guess just on the floor and hope the dog doesn't walk through them. Because then we'll have dog paw prints. Okay, so this paper is what they call acrylic paper. It looks like blood. Acrylic paper has a texture. I think it's just a pressed media paper. It's pretty thick. And we'll see what it does on that. I'm still playing with water because it is water soluble ink. So I'm going to go back to this turquoise color because I think it's my favorite. I'm really loving it. And if I just completely express out everything in the dropper and stick it over here, I should be fine, because I can use a really fine applicator like a pipette and make some marks. It is definitely not absorbing into this paper. It's laying on top. So that's interesting. I can rinse it out with some water if I want to change colors. I need to get a big set of pipettes. That's something I need to write down because I will forget. It'd be nice to have some. And then I can, of course, blend this with water. Like I was doing earlier, I can just draw it out with a watercolor brush and make interesting washes with it, which is kind of fun, just touching the edge and drawing it out. It will stain eventually, and this is staining faster. When I put the water on it, it's staining faster into the paper than it did with the other paper that I was using, which is interesting. I really don't know much about this paper. I know that I got it from Arteza, and it's called an acrylic paper pad, but I don't really know what it is exactly. But it's absorbent because it's definitely soaking in. At first I thought it was not very absorbent, but now I see that the ink is indeed soaking into it. So we get a little bit of a texture with it because it's got that pressed texture in it that's kind of like canvas texture, I think is what they were going for. So this is an Arteza product. This is just pretty fun. It's pretty zen to just touch them and let them, you know, come out. I'm going to add another color here in a minute and see what happens with that. And just having the finer applicator made a different look than my other one. So the tiny pipette. Super fun. Let's add a different color. See if anybody's talking. Oh yeah, Barbara, I definitely think that pipettes are I used to have a bunch of them, and I think they got nasty, and I just tossed them because they were too dirty. You know, because like, see this brand new pristine one, I rinsed it, but it's still got something in it. You know, they get dirty, but I guess it doesn't really matter if they get dirty as long as that doesn't transfer to your next thing. So this is the Liquitex brand, and I was wondering if I put it up against, go away, Bubbles. Ew. Okay, that was unintentional. There is an acrylic booger in my bottle that just came out. Nasty. I was trying to get the colors to blend together a little bit and give me something interesting. And they do seem to want to a little bit, but this acrylic ink is a little bit thick. Remember, these are several years old. These Liquitex ones are, I just got the Pam Carricker ones, but the Liquitex ones are old, old, old. I don't know. They might have even been when I had a different studio. So that's like maybe even 5 years. I don't know. 4 years maybe, when I was in a different room. See if I can get up some of that nasty. So this ink is mixed with acrylic polymer, and if the acrylic polymer gets dried inside the bottle, what happens? You get unk and gook and grossness. Like that. You get acrylic boogers. And I definitely have one here on my page. But, yuck. What's that? Peg just messaged me and said her Wi-Fi is down. I will message her back. So it looks like it's just me and you guys for now. Okay, what else can we do? How about just dropping it into the water? What happens if you really get some wet and you just make droplets? Because I can make small droplets and I can make bigger ones. Let's just, we are carrying on. Come back if you can. There. We messenger back. Okay, so let me just get this super wet over here. And let's just find some of these colors. I haven't used this one yet. This is brown. Oh, looks like she's coming back.
Well, I think I'm back. I don't know what the heck happened here. They've been messing with our cable.
It wasn't your husband upstairs trying to stream something?
No, I think no, because we have enough power. There should not be, and I'm hardwired in. So I think it's the company that we get our service from, because they've been taking it down for whatever maintenance, whatever. I guess they figure because we're all home, they can just take it down whenever they want to.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
Not your fault. No one's mad. Just carrying on.
Well, so you were able to stay on through it all?
Yep.
Cool.
I'm in the studio, so I mean, I can come in the studio even if you're not here.
Okay. Well, I mean, I couldn't tell because mine totally crashed. I had to reboot everything. I couldn't tell if you guys were there or not. That's how bad it was here. So I'm glad it kept on going.
It did. No problems.
All right.
With my acrylic inks.
I have a very wet spot there. So let's go back to our little fishes here while our tags are drying. Because you can see the cells? That's pretty cool.
I like cells. At one time when we did do pouring when we were in North Carolina, I really enjoyed cells.
Yeah.
So maybe something that called itself a cell maker would be something I would want. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if I can make other colors, you know, because there's a limited number of these sprays on the market, and they're in Dina's colors.
Right.
So unless you're altering the color that's in here, you're going to want to take another paint and make your own. Because it's going to take them several years to come out with more colors, right? So what I did here is I stenciled the fish down first, then I put a layer of paint on. Now I'm going to come back with my stencil once again. Try to line it up a little bit here. I'm going to stencil my fish again. That was a little disconcerting. Thanks, Barb. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video now and figure out where we were and what we were doing. You guys are gonna have to remind me. Where was I?
You were being a mad scientist. That's where we were.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
So this acrylic paper is actually not good with water. Probably why they call it acrylic paper. It really dulled the colors because, you know, it was soaking into the paper all the way through. So let's move on to a different paper. How about watercolor paper?
I'm not being real careful here. I'm just, you know, doing the outline kind of stuff with the stencil. Because I'm going to come back and connect the dots with a pen. But I like this little angel fish. And want to make sure I get the important parts like the eyeball.
Yes, it's going to need an eyeball. Although there are blind fish at the bottom of the ocean.
Aren't those cute? Aren't those cute little fishes? Little angel fishes.
This is just weird. Just anything.
So now we've got that stenciled on there. I can take a brush pen or a, what have I got here? Oh, well, I have a Posca right here. That'll work.
That is juicy.
Because you're going to want to connect the dots on your little angel fish.
Get a lot of water. Let's goop it up real good. Goop it real good. Joop, 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 joop. Real good.
We used to have angelfish when I was a kid. I had a big, I don't even know how many gallon tank with tropicals, and my favorite was the angelfish because I had that fish for years, and it just grew so big it would drag its tentacles on the bottom of the fish tank, or fins, or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what you call them. It's an angelfish.
Angel wings?
Yes.
Maybe that's what they were. This is such a pretty color. It's like a phthalo blue deep. That's my guess. It's called Nightfall, but very pretty. Very, very pretty. You know, since I'm using Pam Carricker colors, I should get out some Pam Carricker stencils.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
That would have been smart. I'll have to find some. Could probably do something with that. That's so pretty.
Probably. Let's see. I've got a varsity pilot here. Let's see what color that comes out. Oh, yeah. Try and do a few of these bubbles here in the background.
Get out of there.
Why not do a few bubbles in the background here?
I made my clean water bucket very dirty.
I don't think I got his mouth on these others. He needs a mouth.
Such a pretty color. It needs to dry though. So this sad sucked in bit over here. If I can get my pipette clean, maybe I'll get a little bit of water.
Hi, Debbie. I don't think I've said good morning to you. Yes, and Carla's stencils are great, guys. I mean, what a cute little fish, right? And they're out of good quality mylar too. So, and the thing that I like is she etches them down here. So, like if you create your own, she's going to sketch your name in there with the artist and all that. Well done. Well done. All right. I need some kind of something here. So the color sprays. Let's see. That we created with the izink. It says that you can create it with water or alcohol. I don't think alcohol is going to work. Unless there's something else in it. But you can use those sprays then with your stencils. You know, like where's that? I've got a few tags I was starting with this morning. Let me grab this and let's take that little fish. And let's see if we can get this to spray. The izink one. Yeah. Doesn't really wants to do more of a droplet spray. You know, like when Tim Holtz talks about his sprays and he talks about getting a slow drop, that's what this is coming out like. Where if I come in with one of Dina's, it's a much more watery one. So maybe I just need to dilute that down. So I have to play with these more. Let me get a nice lime green. Actually, I'm going to start by putting a coat of white down first. See what I can get with that. And get another book here. Take some of that off of the stencil onto another background because it's, you know, we're not going to waste it. I've just got these pages out here. and clean it off because this stuff dries pretty fast. But now I've got kind of the outline of the fish there. Normally, I would just set that aside to dry because I don't really like to heat those acrylics, but we're on a show. So you can use this stuff with a brush. So I could take a water brush and just pick that up and paint in my fish now that I know where it is. With that medium. And then, you know, you can come back and stencil again over the top. But where the white is, it's resisting the green a bit. Because that's the nature of this stuff, is it kind of acts resisty. I need to get that out of my brush, or it will be in there permanently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
What you can see is it starts to dry down, how the white is kind of resisting where that is.
More boogers.
Yeah, the small fish, yeah. I didn't really have small fish, or if I did have any smaller fish in with them, they had hidey places because they needed hidey places. So that's cool. I mean, I really like how this is getting this textural. You probably can't see it, but it's getting this really cool bumpy textural thing going on there. So if I took that same slimy green on these angelfish that I have over here, let's see what we get. If it's going to bumpy up. Let me get a brush. Let me get a nice smallish brush here. This is experimentation day, right?
Gross.
See what this does over the top of that. If it actually gets modeled.
Come on.
And I'll just do it on 2 of the fish. And I'll leave the other one.
I'm making such a mess.
The other one. Is it doing anything? Doesn't look like it's doing anything. Maybe I have to do another spray over the top of it to get it to do something. I don't know. That's why we're playing. All right. So let's go back here. This is just about dry now. And it does have a glossy appearance, like the gloss sprays. This is the gloss spray. And this is where the I cleaned off the gloss spray on another page. But I want to add some darker elements to that. Let's see what this stencil does. This is another one of what if stencils, and this one is called Utter Vines. So let me Let me use some of this midnight. Yeah, night, not midnight.
So I started to go a little bit crazy here with my water over this watercolor and a stencil, and I got too much craziness. So now I'm going over it with a little bit of that white with a brush with the white acrylic ink. I mean, see if I can get some more pattern back. That sort of worked.
So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that that's on the stencil and fill in those. You know, on a stencil where they have the connect areas, I want to make this look like it was painted on there. So I'm going to just fill in with some of that night where those...
a lot of paper towels I went through. That's a pretty good start for a background. This is just watercolor paper untreated. So it is absorbing somewhat. And my yellow ink definitely has a problem. It's definitely got yuck in it.
Uh-oh.
Because it just keeps making these goober things. It's gross. So before the show, I made some textured pieces, and I used 3 different mediums on them. So they all look very different. Oh, this one just got, I guess we're going to use blue on that one. This one dried clear because this is the Deco Art molding paste. This one is heavy gesso, and this one is golden light molding paste. So they're different, but they all have a raised texture. And I use the same stencil, which is this one, Circles in the Sand, from Stencil Girl. I can tell you the number if I can find it. L702, designed by Beverly Stout. That's in one of my new ones. So I'm going to try some alcohol ink over these different backgrounds to see what we get. And I might make a huge mess. Did I say alcohol ink? I mean acrylic ink, dang it.
We keep talking. We can get ourselves in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah. So what if I just let it drip? Let's find out what happens. I just let it drip.
Yeah, that's one that's in her Etsy store, the Vine one. Absolutely.
Some of my really messed up paper towels. Well, that sure is pretty. Now, I've done this exact same thing of putting a little bit at the top and dripping down with water using fluid paint, and I never get that good of a result. It doesn't seem to get away from the raised bits. It just wants to cover everything. So that's about the opacity and why the acrylic ink is much better for this process than a fluid, like a Deco Art Media fluid or a golden high flow. Because I'm always frustrated when I do this technique with those. They cover up too much. They're not translucent enough. And I get mad because it doesn't do what I want. But this definitely is doing exactly what I want. It is running in between and filling in a darker background in amongst. Okay, so from now on when I do this, I'm not using acrylic paint anymore. I'm just telling you now, this is so much better. Isn't that pretty? And that's what the Deco Art stuff. Deco Art molding paste is what it's called. Let me see if I can find it and show you. Modeling paste. Dries clear instead of white. So let's do the same thing to the other ones with some different colors and see what happens. I'm trying to find something that I can soak up the drips with, because I'm making a big drippy mess. So this one is the Golden Light Molding Paste, which I often use because it dries quickly, which I like. Let's try the Poppy. Over this one. That's pretty. It's not doing exactly the same thing, though. It is soaking into this medium, which, if you've ever worked with this particular medium, the Golden Light Molding Paste, it's kind of like sponge. Have you ever noticed that? It's like spongy. It feels spongy. So that might be why we're kind of getting the opposite effect here. The acrylic ink is soaking into that spongy stuff, whereas on the Deco Art one, it resisted. So let's try another color over here. How about this magenta? Magenta. Get a little bit of that on there and get some water. And get it dripping, dripping, dripping. That's interesting. That's very interesting. It's different. Completely different than the other one. Cool. So we have one more that we can do this with. We have this one that's got the heavy gesso. But before I do it, let me try to clean up a little bit of this mess because it's going to get all over it. Let's try, what color didn't I use? Oh, I didn't use the purple. Okay. Let's try the purple. Royal Purple. I don't know. Peggy, is your mute on?
I'm writing.
Oh, she's writing. She can't pay attention right now.
I can't think and write at the same time. I don't know about you guys. I'm trying to write something on my page. It says, because these are angel fish, I'm thinking about angels and the state of the world and all of that. And I'm saying, you remind me of the goodness in this world. And we all need angels.
Down, down, down you go. Oh, yeah. So now this is on a manila background, of course, untreated. And it's kind of making a streaky streak on the manila cardstock background, which didn't really happen on the other two. I don't know why. And then it's completely resisting the heavy gesso. This is Liquitex Heavy White Gesso. Man, am I making a mess on my fingers. I hope my artboard works today. Scrubbing for days. Oh, that's pretty. That's so pretty. It's purple. A little bit more up here because I kind of lost a spot, I felt like. Of course, I'm going to like the purple. Okay, what a mess. All right, so that's interesting. Different mediums reacted differently. Let me make sure all my lids are on. This could be a major disaster. if I don't screw them on all the way. I accidentally splattered a little bit on my red one, but I don't think there's much I can do about it. Got a limited space here.
Okay, coming up for air, gonna see what they're saying. Bye, Lisa.
I'm gonna go look for a Pam Carricker stencil.
So that says, remind me of the goodness in this world. We all need angels to watch over us and our loved ones. So different kind of angel, but you guys get my drift. Ha ha ha, get my drift. Oh, my sense of humor is just not doing it today, I'll tell you. So that green, yeah, that green really didn't do a whole lot for the fishes. Oh, well. It was worth a try, right? Maybe I just need to do some other stuff on the fishes, but later. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff we were doing. Now, this, I can come back and I can do more work on the lettering and all of that. You guys know how to do that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to play with a few things today. Where are we on time? We got about 20 minutes left. Okay, so let's go back to this page. This had that spray on it, and I think that this stuff, this gloss spray, is supposed to act kind of like a resist. Is that what you guys are getting out of it?
That's what I'm getting out of it.
Let me put some of this burnt sienna on here. Let's see what we get. I'm going to put a little drop of burnt sienna in my palette, just like so. And then I'm going to take a water brush and I'm going to add some water to it and thin it down. Because I just want to put some of that on. Oh, speaking of glazes.
Okay, that didn't work.
Speakers, I have some glazes. Okay, that's definitely just way too wet because it's just wiping right off. So let's see. Let's just put it on there. What the heck? And then I'll wet it with some spray. Let's see what happens. It's all about experimenting today anyway, right?
Yep. Mad science.
That. And we'll wet this. Get it moving. Oh, I like that. I like that, but that definitely is going to have to dry. So we'll set that one aside to dry some more. Remember last week we were working on some of these papers. Got some of these that we were working with. And I like this yellow. what I did for that is I just used a couple of those Dina Wakley sprays. I've got the yellow out here and the cheddar, and I just you know, sprayed some of that on, sprayed some of the cheddar on, and you get this nice mottled effect. Those sprays are nice. I like them. So then you can take something else. Let's see what I've got here. I could take that, say the stencil with the ruler. And let's get that night color. And spray that through there. You notice I'm wiping down my sprays because these are acrylic sprays, and we all know what happens with acrylic sprays, right?
They clog.
A clog.
It's true.
But you know what? I wasn't paying attention. I put it down. I put it down with the numbers backwards. Okay. That's all right. No problem. Let's do one of these Zen Mind ones too. That's the fish. And I'm going to do that in this turquoise. Actually, I wonder if I have a reddish tone. A reddish tone? Surely. Oh, I know what I have that in. I have that in a Decor Media in red. You know, since we're doing Asian characters, they like red. That's pretty cool. Like the red. I got a lot of it on the stencil. So, what do I want to do with it? I don't know. I'm going to dump it in the water for now. But, going back to this. The other thing I got new were these books from Dina. They're collage books. And what I do is I take these collage books and I just tear them up, you know, tear them up to use. Because I want this to be my art, not her art. So, you know, I'll take portions of this and layer using portions. That's more than I want. So then these can all become page components. And then you can take some of your cut up pieces to finish your collage. I mean, honestly, could have used that there. What do I have? Oh, here. You can glue all this stuff down later if you want, but
oh, shoot.
that doesn't reach. I go here. The long arm. So I don't know if you guys were watching some of the stuff that was coming out of Dina's group. They were doing all kinds of add-on pages and flips and things, and you can take these and use them in your journal just by folding and taping and, you know, making edges to things. This can be very easily added in to your journal.
Why didn't my pixie spray work?
Your pixie spray did not work?
No. I applied it twice.
Did you let it dry for about a minute before you went to use it?
Maybe not. I don't know.
It's got to get to that tacky stage.
Well, that's ugly. I'll have to fix that later. This part is interesting, but the face turned out absolutely horrible because the ink went underneath. I can fix it though. It just needs to dry. Dry, dry, dry. My water's getting very, very dirty. Everything is getting very dirty. The hands are filthy. So I'll let that dry. Oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to do is just try this Duralar. See what I can get with the acrylic on there.
These are some of those other components we were making the other week to work with your collage work.
Everything I do is collage work. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I paint on occasion.
I do a paint on occasion too. And I paint over my collage, but ultimately I'm really just all about the collage.
Let me see. I need a glue stick. That's what I'm looking for. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing here. Oh man.
Nope, that's not gonna work. How about a brayer? How about we bray? I'm gonna bray.
Okay.
Nobody's laughing.
You bray. That is one not very straight line. Can you tell I was not paying attention when I was cutting that up? So then all of these tags and things can be used in your journal later.
I guess we can also see what happens when we bray on a thingamabobber jigger.
So let's see. What did we do? We made some pigment spray. I should probably use some more of that. This, I'm going to put that anywhere. I don't know. there or not. No, I don't like it there. Not going there. That one doesn't want to stay down. I know how to fix that.
How about some magenta?
And get a Stabilo.
I didn't get very much magenta. That's turquoise.
And water brush. So how are you guys dealing with all of this pandemic stuff? Is everybody coming out on the other side okay? I worry about my friends. It's been a little tough here. We've had, you know, people that we know involved in all of this, so. Plus a few other issues going on. So. Oh, I should, where's my pencil? Didn't get down this side. That is still wet. Good grief. Let's see how this one's coming. This is still a little damp. I'm okay with that. But I really do like what that did. So let's take a little bit of some plum ink, because I like plum ink. And get my sponge applicator here. A little of that plum on there.
Oh, okay, we are almost done.
Yeah, I like that. It deepened it a little bit, and then I'm going to put some green on that one. Get a leaf green on that one. Oh yeah, need that green on there. Maybe even a little blue.
Oh my gosh.
I like that. We got green. Let's go for a little bit of this manganese blue. Oh yeah. Actually, let's do a little of that over here too. Oh yeah, now I'm happy. Now I'm getting happier. All right, so added some ink. Let's see what I've got here. Got some different components. Cut out. That would be cool. Be content. Huh. It's too much. Too much the same. Too similar. You don't want similar. Oh, but she'd be cool. She would be cool. Just saying. Or I could actually tear up some of this. Piece that I was working on. I don't know.
You just don't know.
Yeah, be careful, Debbie. A lot of things are opening up, but I just predict there's going to be a lot more trouble happening. I think they're feeling confident because they have more testing on board, but scares me. Scares me for my friends and family.
I won't be going out and gallivanting around and going to restaurants and hugging people. I'll not be doing any of that as much as I would like to, because I just don't think it's over. I don't know if it was that.
Bye, Barb. Yeah, Texas is opening too. There's a lot of them that are opening up. We're opening up things here in Iowa too. Restaurants and all of that are going to like 50% capacity of what they were. Trying to get a little variation in dimension on these fishes. So I'm using my pit pens.
What did I do with my brush? I've lost it.
My little golden angel fish here.
Cool. Yeah, my water's dirty. Makes my brush dirty. Nasty.
Thanks, Vicki. Yeah, we always need warnings, don't we? Gonna go around. Edge here. Blend that out a little bit. hope you enjoyed playing along with us today. I just have not been in the mood for doing a whole lot. That's one of the things about this whole thing with what's happening here in the world is that, people are suffering from just haven't been away, haven't been getting the hugs. So I'm extending my arms to all of my friends here today. I want to give you all a great big hug. I want to thank you for having come into our lives and been with us today, because I know we're all struggling with this. So um, I want to remember the goodness in the world, and that we all need angels watching over us and our loved ones. So that's kind of where I am today.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I will see you again soon, my friends. Take care, be well, and we'll talk soon. Bye.